So hello all. I decided to make a video about checking the 12 volt battery on a Tesla. This is my Model X and I've got the frunk open. It's a pretty straightforward thing to do. 12 volt batteries are pretty essential to the operation of these vehicles, which might seem odd to some people that a Tesla with a big 100 kilowatt hour battery requires a regular old 12 volt lead acid battery to get going. And it's actually similar with a Prius, that the 12 volt battery starts up all the electronics and pulls in the systems, and then the high voltage battery gets pulled in and the car is ready to drive. The 12 volt battery has been implicated in various problems people have had with Teslas. Sometimes you get a warning that, oh, the battery's about to go, and sometimes you don't get a warning. So I thought I would point out how you can test your battery. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing you really need here is a digital voltmeter. Well, voltmeter, but preferably a digital one. The connection we're going to go play with is right up here behind this panel, which pops right off very easily. And then you have to open up the fuse box to actually get to the terminal, and then you just measure the battery voltage between the battery terminal in the fuse box and a ground, good solid metal ground, which you can find adjacent to the fuse box. Now, for 12 volt batteries, nominal voltage is 12.6 volts, 12.7 volts or so for a healthy battery that's fully charged. Lead acid batteries are finicky. If they drop below, certainly below 12 volts, they're in trouble, and that's a sign that they need to be replaced. 12.4 could be kind of the limit, but if you measure your battery and you see it's about 11 to 12 volts, it's kind of dead and you need to get it changed, regardless of what warnings you may have received on the displays in the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this cover off and start into the process. Now, the cover itself is just below the windshield wipers, and it's just held in with some pegs. It's pretty easy to pop off. You just basically just pry a little bit and it pops off. I'll work my way down here, and it pops off pretty easily. And what you then see is a cavity just in front of the windshield wipers, and this is the emergency disconnect for first responders. That's why the tag is hanging out. They can find that and pull that and disable the vehicle's electrical systems. And this is the fuse box. In the back there is the brake fluid reservoir, but this is the fuse box, and you can see right here it's marked such that this is where you would go if you wanted to put a jump pack on the car to re-energize the 12 volt system to, say, get the car moving again. So then what you do is there are just tabs on each end of this, and pop those off, and that's pretty easy to do. And that exposes the fuse box, which unfortunately is it's quite a mystery on these vehicles, unfortunately. Just about everybody else, every other car manufacturer has their fuses labeled. Typically it's on the cover of the fuse box. Well, Tesla marked these all right, but they marked them in a letter number code, whereas everyone else will go, oh, this is for the headlights, or the starter relay, or for your heater, or for whatever, and it's kind of totally cryptic on this vehicle, which is unfortunate. So the terminal we want to play with is this one right here. Now, as far as a ground is concerned, what you have to do is go down in behind here. Down here, there's a nice piece of shiny metal. If you have a probe on your digital voltmeter, you can put the negative side, just touch that, or you can reach down in here and there is a bolt sticking up just a little right there underneath, and you can clip a lead onto that to get a good body ground. So what we're going to try to do now is I'll rig up the voltmeter and show you the voltage right now. So now I've got my voltmeter hooked up, and I've clipped the lead down onto that bolt I mentioned down here in the back. It's a little big hands, it's a little hard to get to, but it's not that bad. So here we go. So this is the terminal we want to test for battery voltage. Now this is interesting. I have driven a car today, and the battery voltage is now 14.7 volts. I tried this a few weeks ago, and it was first thing in the morning after the car had been sitting overnight, and I didn't start the car or get into the car to check it, and it came up as 12.6 volts. Now what this means to me is that the car is right now actively charging the battery. This is the voltage that you would normally see on an internal combustion engine vehicle with the engine running and the charge system running. So this isn't actually the base battery voltage for this vehicle. So what I think I'm going to have to do is come back tomorrow morning, first thing. Don't unlock the vehicle or anything. Just come back underneath here and make the same measurement and see if I can see just the battery voltage itself. So I guess this is, in a sense, it's a caution, I don't know, that when you come out here to check the battery voltage and you've driven the vehicle recently, that you're going to see a voltage that's higher than you would expect to see. And that is apparently the car's charging system is charging the battery right now. So it's taken me a little bit of thinking and some trials to come up with how to see the battery voltage. Seemingly every time I checked it under various other conditions, I kept seeing the 14.7 volt level, which is the car trying to charge the battery. What I've now tried is I have run the battery down below 50%. I think it's, I have to go check, but I bet it's like 40% now. And I've got the same setup as before. I've hooked into that bolt in behind there for ground. And now when I come up here and I touch that, I get something like that. This is 12.9, which is a little high. I tried it a little while ago and I got more like 12.7. So bottom line is that if you want to actually see something approaching your battery voltage here, what you apparently have to do is run the main battery down below 50% to like 40% or something, and then check your 12 volt battery. It's probably, I just drove it, actually went out and washed the car, came back, had it sitting for about half an hour before I did this. I guess this is a way that you can see the actual battery voltage, or something at least close to the actual battery voltage, and not seeing the car charging the battery. Now we're the next morning, and I've left the vehicle overnight without being charged. I haven't looked at what the charge state of the battery is, but it's no more than 44% according to the dashboard. Now if I try to measure the battery voltage, I get 12.65 volts, which is about what you'd expect for a fully charged and healthy 12 volt battery. So I guess the bottom line here is that if you want to check the health of your 12 volt battery, what you need to do is to run your vehicle down to below 50%. In this case I ran it down to 44%, and then check the battery voltage. I'm getting my healthy helperson here involved. Yes, this is Jasper, and he's a healthy helperson. Anyway, one has to run the battery down, the main battery, down to something like less than 50%, and then you'll be able to see the actual 12 volt battery voltage. Right now I'd assess this battery to be just fine. This is a 2017 Model X, so the battery's been in this vehicle now for about 3.5 years. So that's it for now, thanks. And one more pass of Helpy Helperson. Thanks much.